Good afternoon and welcome to the next in a series of Icom M-802 functionality videos. In this one, it's going to be fairly brief. We're going to talk about how to simply use the radio in VFO mode. It's pretty straightforward. Shouldn't have to worry too much about if you're not into ham radio operation. You'll probably not do this, or only very rarely will you do this. If you are a ham operator, you're going to be doing it a lot. Most people will simply program ham radio bands into some of the user channels. I have quite a few of mine used for this purpose. I have different frequencies here that I have labeled, such as 160 meters. And of course, my friends back home in Ocala, I have on 80 meters. Some on 40 meters. Some on 20 meters. Some on 17, 15, and 12. Although I don't talk on 10 meters much, I have used it occasionally. I'll just put it in when I need to. Again, these these frequencies that I have programmed in are entirely my choice, and what you program in will be entirely your choice. When I hit the frequency button here, instead of my channel label, which I have programmed in, the frequency that I have programmed in will show. And I'll go back through these channels one at a time. And this is back where I started here. The easiest thing to do is simply have a half a dozen or a dozen of these channels programmed to either your most popular frequency that you use on those bands or somewhere near in the middle of the band. Then simply turn the radio on by hitting the power button. Change the channel knob to the band that you want to operate on, such as, say, 20 meters as an example. Here's 20 meter miscellaneous. And then press this button, the clarifier receive button. One press of that button will switch you into the VFO mode. Just like that. And now, this knob that used to be your channel knob is now your VFO. And each time I click it, it changes one segment at a time. You notice it's now tuning in 100 kilohertz at a time. Excuse me, 100 cycles at a time. Forgive me, 100 cycles at a time. Or a tenth of a kilohertz. If I want to change in more rapid succession, you'll notice that there is a cursor. You'll notice a cursor underneath the 0. As I change the group knob, as I move the group knob, that cursor will move over to the next digit. And click it again and again. Generally, I find tuning around in the 100 cycles at a time mode to be most effective. But if you're looking for a particular frequency quickly, you can just click it right here, and then you tune 1 kilohertz at a time. If I press this clarifier receive button again, pressing this button again takes me back to the channel mode. Then I can select the channel knob to a different frequency that a different band that I might want. Pressing the clarifier button again takes me back to the VFO mode. And again, let me just turn the volume up so see if we can listen to something.
I could get was on Friday on into Saturday, so I missed from northern New Hampshire. In fact, although they run all over New Hampshire, Massachusetts, you name it.
All you need to do now is listen for the guy's call sign. If you decide you want to talk to him, give him a call. Again, the clarifier receive button takes you from channel mode to VFO mode. Just cycles you back and forth from channel mode to VFO mode. And you'll notice the cursor underneath the last digit there in VFO mode. The frequency channel mode, frequency channel button cycles you through the frequency or channel mode. Basically what that means is that just tells you what your display is showing. Is your display going to show your channel name that you have labeled, or is it going to show the frequency? There's the frequency shown, and there's the channel shown. When you select the frequency mode, such as I'm doing here, you'll notice that in the frequency display mode, there are two different frequencies listed. This top one is your receive frequency, and the bottom is your transmit frequency. When you see simplex or SIMP noted on the display, both of those will be the same. When you see dupe, or DUP standing for duplex, on the display, there'll be two separate frequencies here. I'm going to just turn the channel knob now down to channel 110, or I can select 110 from the keypad, either way. 110. And you'll now notice that there are two separate frequencies here listed. Your receive frequency is on the top, transmit frequency is on the bottom, and dupe is listed. I happen to know my radio, this channel is WLO's channel 1212. If I hit the frequency channel button again, it shows me WLO 1212. We've gone through the channel knob, the group knob, of course the power on and off, the volume, the keypads functions, as well as the standard keypad numbers, as well as the functions of the keypad, the tune button, the mode button. The buttons that I have not dealt with yet are the email button, which we're going to get into much later on, and the DSC buttons over here. The DSC functions, these DSC functions are quite controversial to some people, but let's all remember, I'm going to go through this one step at a time. In our next video, I'm going to show you the DSC functions, what they do, and how they work. Thank you. Thank you.